Welcome to the Lindsay Brüsch Show Österhågen Election Night Show. Joining me in the studio from Sirocco is Peter Hume's son John Hume.
Thanks for having me, Lindsay. I have to say this shall be an interesting one considering the Siroccan Premier and all-round nice guy Daniel Anderson is running as is Sebastian Linden, the controversial former First Minister.
Hang 5 mate, I'm going to have to interrupt you with the first provisional results from elections Zealandia, with Linden in the lead at 70% with Joe Puglisi from the SDPZ having 30% with no votes for Daniel Anderson of the NPP yet.
I say right here right now that this election will be fought between the Monarchist Party and the National People's Party. The SDPZ ain't got a hope in hell, Lindsay.
I don't know, Joe is quite popular for a communist and has the backing of the Social Democratic Party which King Anthony is president of.
Actually, Lindsay, why don't we discuss the candidates?
Okay, first up we have the ever-controversial Sebastian Linden, former First Minister and now joint ruler of Veltrindsland and Zealandiense. Linden started the Monarchist Party after he was expelled from the SDPZ.
Daniel Anderson of the National People's Party and Premier of Sirocco has been the sworn enemy of Linden since the Syro-Zealandian War. He has had a steady rise in both the community and Zealandia and has been described by King Anthony as the kind of conservative that is not an egg and as his friend from the north.
Hold on, we have more incoming results. Anderson now has 10% with Puglisi losing 10 to take him to 20% with Linden holding on to 70%.
This marks the Anderson comeback.
Anyways, next up we have Joe Puglisi, the First Minister of the ANU and SDPZ member of the Legislative Assembly and quite popular person, the first communist to run for a governorship.
These elections are fairly interesting, seeing as from what the COS elections authorities are saying have the lowest voter turnout in Zealandian history.
I know it's absolutely horrible, but the cause of the election is King Anthony resigning due to his democratic morals apparently, but this does make the Senate active again, which shall infuriate First Minister Puchalski, who wants to abolish it.
James, I think, fails to see the importance of the Senate and the role it plays in Zealandian democracy and its evolution. After all, Zealandia originally had a House of Peers and a House of Commons. How much farther along is Zealandia now?
You like the Senate and the Legislative Assembly only because you're from a nation with a parade of ministers and that's it, and you only really like me because I am doing your sister Alexandra.
Actually, I hate the Zealandian system, far too socialist, and I don't like you at all. It's only that Dad and Mr. Anderson sent me here that I'm talking to you.
You as hat, how dare you?
Jokes about the last bit.
You egg. Anyways, we have the final results.
Oh, fingers crossed for a Siroccan victory, but either way it will be close.
The confirmed results from elections: Zealandia J. Puglisi SDPZ 21%, D. Anderson 28%, S. Linden 50%.
Bugger, I wanted Anderson to win.
What? I wanted Joe Puglisi to win, but that's all we have time for.
Thanks for having me, Lindsay.
No problems, and good night. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Doctor.
Doctor who?
Yes.
Lindsay, you are woeful sometimes.